Welcome to the Temple of She podcast, a virtual overflow of our ceremonial spaces. This is a sacred and slightly wild space where we gather to nourish and share all things sisterhood, womanhood, and beyond, guided by magic, curiosity, and laughter. Our personal medicine, the healing power of the voice, deep listening, and truth spoken from the heart. Your hosts, Grace Lightlooper and Beth Cycle Witch, are here to hold the waters, stir the cauldron, and keep this ceremony moving through sound and story. So take a breath, soften into the flow, and welcome to our temple.
Ready? Are you ready? Are we ready for some... Not to rumble, I don't think we're ready to rumble.
No.
Let's be ready for some rowdy love.
Rowdy love! I was going to go unconditional love, but you know, I'm a big fan of rowdy love. Love a bit of rowdy love.
Grace, what is rowdy love?
Right, as soon as you asked, and you actually did ask, which is great. Rowdy love is a term that me and my partner coined after being in ceremony a few times. And it's like kind of winding down at the end of ceremony and everyone's just like singing full blast, like all inhibitions gone out the window. Everyone's in their like fullest expression and we're all just singing at the top of our voices, a bit like, you know, like an old-fashioned scene from a pub when everyone's just like had a few and they're all singing really loudly and everyone loves each other, but you're like so passionate about the fact that you love each other. And we've seen it at a few of our gigs as well, where we've written these like mantras, but one of them's like, it starts off like, oh, 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 and like everyone's singing that, the momentum builds and builds and builds, and all of a sudden there's this almost like, is that love aggression, like in the air, and we were just like, fucking love you. So
to me it is love aggression, because I've not experienced it lots with singing, but I'm deeply familiar with rowdy love, as in like, oh my
pets
God,
and children.
I love you. I want to eat your face.
Yes. Do you know what? I remember the first instance of that was when my little brother was born, and probably one of my earliest memories of my mum telling me to stop eating his head. I used to like bite his newborn head because like at the time I didn't know what I was doing. I was only 2, but I remember the feeling of it in my teeth. Oh my God. Oh, I'll unpack that at some point. But for now, I won't. But I just remember my mum like, stop biting his head, stop biting his head. But like now, I'm understanding that as like love aggression.
Yeah, it's love aggression.
Like, just like, God.
I do it. I often want to bite and nibble on my partner and my daughter. I'm just like, oh, come here, I just want to...
Yeah, I remember that when my daughter was little, just wanted to eat her. Yeah.
Cannibalistic love.
Cannibalistic love.
And now you've introduced the term rowdy
love.
My partner is now... talks about it all the time.
Oh, I love
because
that.
They also experience deep amounts of rowdy love.
Yes.
And now they've got a word to describe it.
I feel like rowdy love is the musical version of love aggression.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Ooh. I feel like that fits. Wow, why did we start talking about this?
I asked you what it is. I said, are you ready?
Are you ready for some rowdy love?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Yes.
See, I didn't realise it was actually specific for you to do with music.
Well, that's where it come from, where everyone's just like, I think because we were writing some songs, me and Connor were writing some songs, and I was like, yeah, this is another like rowdy love jam. And then we were like, yeah, love a bit of rowdy love. And we realised quite a few of our songs have that energy, that in them. And I think it's one of my favourite frequencies.
Oh gosh, yes. Yeah.
Like, I remember as a kid being like, quote unquote, diagnosed with hyperactivity. That was quite a constant state I was in as a child, just like, ah! So now to have a name behind it and an outlet, which is the music, and I can do that with other people. It's like we can do this. We're allowed to do this.
Yes,
we're allowed to be this fucking
permission,
batshit crazy. Yeah. So then, yeah.
Anyway, so now we've explored rowdy love.
Our
Our subject for this week is actually, in fact...
We have not planned who's going to say it.
Do you have a clear vision in your head of what it is? Because I have a clear vision of what it is, but possibly not the right words.
I think I would explain it as, why is it important for women to gather in women-only spaces?
Yeah.
That's how I would say it. Yeah.
Perfect.
The end.
The end. That's it. So we've obviously had a lot of experiences and intentions of holding space specifically for women together. You led the way with this. I know that at the beginning I was a little resistant to like specifically women's circles, but I would say I've definitely got the memo now. And not that I didn't before, but I was still in that place of like, oh, but there needs to be this thing, and like there needs to be the opposing forces there. But I've settled so completely into the whole like, no, like those forces are there no matter what, and there are reasons why it's important for there to be exclusively women's spaces. There's important reasons why there should be exclusively men's spaces.
Absolutely.
And it's really important that we regularly gather in mixed gender groups as well. But I think what we've really settled into being absolutely 100% sure about as a team in the Temple of She is that we have the tools to facilitate for women to gather.
Yes.
And you know, it's lovely to know that there are spaces for mixed gendered gathering, but that because we are women, we don't necessarily have all of the right tools to support men who identify as men and have been socialised as men in those kinds of work.
Yeah. Yes, very well said. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think like you've had your deeper understanding of the importance of it, and I have as well in my own way. Like I was on board with it before, but since we had our recent gathering, something else, just a whole new level of depth and importance opened up, of really seeing the difference in these spaces. Like I've spent the last, like a lot longer than this, but in a concentrated version, the last 2 years I've been in ceremony with my partner, who's a man, and we've been holding space for a long time together. And you know, I've always been about that balance and really kind of like focused on that balance, the masculine and the feminine, and learning so much about that. And like that is beautifully divine. There is definitely a place for that. 100% there's a place for that. Well, otherwise we would not be able to repopulate. But I don't think I put women together on the same level of importance as I did for me and Connor holding space together as man and woman. Did that make sense? Like I didn't see it as important, but these last few weeks, now we've had this recent ceremony together where it was just us, just all women. I saw just a whole different level of magic, of power, of connection, of wisdom, of independence, freedom, liberation. And these are all things I have felt with my partner. I felt them with him, but this is it's almost like just like shifting the lens, and experiencing a new part of myself that I did not know was there. I would not know this was here had I not sat in ceremony with you all.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really, really opened my eyes to my capacity and to all of you guys, like fully seeing you. That wouldn't have happened if that was a mixed ceremony. I truly believe that would not have happened. We would have been working with a different energy and a different intention, and yeah.
I think one of my thought processes that I was kind of clinging on to before was so much of the work we do is to do with generations and ancestors, and that comes through a lot in these ceremonies. And I've always I kept telling myself, like, but just because you're in a woman's body at the moment, you've been a man, you've been incarnated billions of times in so many different forms. Why are you choosing to focus purely on only your current aspect? And what I spoke in that ceremony that was like the key finally turning was the social conditioning aspect of being in a woman's body now. And that kind of unlocked all of anything that was holding me back, to be able to fully go in on work, as just in purely women's spaces. I think that was quite interesting to kind of just get that little bit of information drop in. And I was like, whoa, okay, yeah, no, it all makes sense.
Yeah, and I really love what you said the other day about because this was the first space that I'd held myself without my partner alongside me, with you assisting me, and you said it was really amazing to see you fully in your feminine and masculine, because I had nothing to fall back on, or no one to fall back on, and no one beside me of like to balance that out. So like I did it myself. I'm massively paraphrasing this very badly.
Would you like me?
You say it.
I think my words were something along the lines of like, wow, like it's so good to see you like fully in your power in a new way, because I've seen you and your partner work together. I've seen you in that power, and it's bloody amazing. You guys are incredible together all the time. But it was just amazing to see you knowing exactly what you needed to do with absolute clarity and confidence, without holding back, with no deference, no checking in, no holding back and being like, should it be, is this okay? Like, you know, what do you think? Which is a role we play a lot as women.
Yes.
We manage those around us. And it was like absolute full power Grace Light Looper, because you didn't need to do that. You were in full command, and it was just incredibly powerful. Incredibly powerful.
Thank you for saying that like that, because I was struggling to articulate that, but until you said that, I didn't even realise. But when you said it, I was like, oh yeah, like it didn't occur to me that I was kind of in charge of everything, and I didn't need to ask anyone for help, or I didn't need to ask anyone permission for anything, and I didn't actually realise how much I did that before until you told me you didn't do that in this space, and I was like, oh yeah, it was such a good experience for me, and that was probably one of my biggest takeaways from that around the feminine, being in that space. And how when you said about you know, in mixed spaces, sometimes social constructs can play out, and that was another thing that I'd never really thought about until recently.
And that came from explaining to somebody who said, you know, why aren't you holding mixed gender ceremonies? Why aren't you providing this space for men and women? It feels like you're excluding men. And I understand their feeling around that, but I had to really sit and talk with them. And as I spoke to them, I was like, yes, this makes sense now. And then when I told you, you were like, yes. And it was along the lines of, you know, we grow up in this world, and this world as it is at the moment, you cannot avoid the social conditioning. You can do your best. Many people are creating family bubbles where there is very little to no social conditioning around gender, but it's still there. It's still out in the wider world. We grew up in the 90s. It was very heavily prevalent in our childhood. And so when you put men and women into a space of ceremony, they can try so hard and be so self-aware of not allowing any conditioning to come through, but it's still always going to be there. There's still always going to be fighting it. There's still always going to be men who feel like they need to be a certain way, in their masculine, even in their feminine. You know, how far are they allowed to be in that before they're being questioned over how masculine they are? And with women, you know, you can be a super empowered woman, but as soon as you're around a masculine energy, there is still this social programming of, you know, am I going to trigger their masculinity in some way? You know, women have unfortunately been denied so much through generations now: property, money, their own means, on top of so much other stuff, you know, when you really get into it, relationship, sexual things as well, that it's near impossible to create spaces that are mixed gender with no social conditioning. And so what happens is the women turn into their like socially conditioned femininity, and the men turn to their socially conditioned masculinity. But what we found in that space was that all of us women together had absolute divine feminine energy, and our masculine energy, our divine masculine energy, had space to come up, to rise and be seen. And all of us felt so well balanced in that, because none of us were at the mercy of our social conditioning, which is something that we cannot control. And so it's so important to create spaces which are exclusively feminine, because how do we learn to step out of our social conditioning? With practice. And where do we practice safely? In spaces where it's safe for both elements to come forward equally. And that is how you get better at it. So, sorry, that was a long one from me.
Well, do not apologise. Get rid of that apology. What I find interesting is, isn't it funny that we are in this era and there is still an element of us defending women's spaces?
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Isn't that fucking wild that we still have people questioning why we're doing it and why aren't they allowed in it, and being threatened by it? Like, it just shows you how important it is, because people are still threatened and scared by it. Like, that's wow. It's just so it's huge, isn't it?
I think there's an element within men that actually almost craves access to these female spaces so that they can feel what it is to have a safe space for their feminine to come forward.
Yeah.
But that automatically shuts down the women's safety. And so I think there's like this is a really difficult balance. I can't say I know of any women yet that feel like they would want access to an exclusively men's area.
No, my God, that would be awful for me. What, you mean like one woman in a men's space?
Wait, no, just like one woman who has a wish to be in a men's space.
Right, yeah.
Like, I can't say... let us know if you would feel more drawn to a very masculine setting and ceremony space. But I can't say that I wouldn't feel comfortable. Not in a like a I feel unsafe way, just in a like
it doesn't resonate.
It doesn't resonate.
No, it's a different frequency.
Yeah.
It's such a different frequency, and like I've done so much work on this with my partner. Like we mirror each other beautifully, but also like scarily sometimes, because we're absolute precise mirrors for each other. So if there's any masculine or feminine wounding, not even from, it's not us, it's what we came here with. We came here with the baggage, all the baggage of the feminine, all the baggage of the masculine, whether we like it or not. So we're constantly mirroring that in each other. And Connor, my partner, he's like the safest man I've ever met in my life. The safest, most gentle, most loving, most heartfelt, like such a like genuine, pure soul. But there are still times when I have to purge unsafety around the masculine because it's in my lineage, because women have been abused, and like all of these stories that I come here with that I don't want to be carrying them, but I am, because I'm a woman.
Yeah.
So I'm lucky enough to have been gifted a safe man to feel this with, and he understands that, look, this is not a reflection of you, but sometimes it might seem that way, but sometimes I'm feeling unsafe just in your presence. And thank God we can communicate with each other like that, because that allows for the healing to take place. I can't remember why I started saying that now, but yeah, it's that like, it's not him as a person, it is the stuff we come here with, and it's the roles that we came here to play. And some of these things can only be travelled into around with the feminine. Like, and I really get that now. Like, as safe as he makes me feel, and as loving and as gentle and as beautifully in touch with his feminine as he is, which he is, he doesn't carry your frequency as a woman. And it's what it comes down to. Like, for me, sometimes he seems like he's from a different planet. He's like a different creature. He's like, you know, the times when we've had ceremony, and we've had ceremony in one room, he's been in ceremony in another room, and we've like peeked through the door, and it seems like he's just this like on another planet, like an alien that's just landed, and we've been like, often like, I feel like our energy is really like earthy and motherly and I don't know, like naturey, and he seems just like an alien, and it's like, but we're in awe of it, because we're like, I don't know what that is, but it's fascinating, but I'm not that, and he is not that, he's not this. And I think it's honouring that, isn't it? It's like really honouring that and recognising that, and allowing the difference, allowing the difference in frequency, and knowing when we collaborate and when we do our own thing with our own frequency.
While I'm thinking of it very quickly, something I had to work through, but I've also helped a few other people work through, is the difference between socialized gender and divine gender. and the aspects of those. So something I found a couple of times is I'll be chatting to a woman, not necessarily directly in our circle, and she'll be like, oh, it's because he's so masculine, it's this and that. And it's like, actually what you're referring to is these socialized constructs. You're not talking about the divine masculine. So could you give us a brief description of the attributes and roles of sacred feminine and sacred masculine? Because, you know, we're talking about women's spaces, we're talking a lot about sacred feminine, but we're also saying within the sacred feminine exclusive space, the sacred masculine comes forward from our female bodies. And I know that I would have been very confused by that at the beginning of my journey. And I hope our listeners can get a clear idea.
I was thinking about this the other day, actually. I was thinking what did I relate it to? I related it to breathing, right? We're breathing in, we're breathing out all day. You simply cannot have one breath without the other. You would die.
Yep.
The same goes for the masculine and the feminine within all of us. If we didn't have the other one, we would die. We would not be able to survive if we didn't carry the polar opposite to our feminine, which is our masculine. And being with Connor has actually really helped me to understand the qualities of the divine masculine and feminine, because I'm lucky enough to have a tangible physical manifest representation of both of these energies. So in my experience, the masculine, the divine masculine, he witnesses, he holds, he provides a platform for the divine feminine to channel, to express, to flourish, to feel, to move, to dance, to sing, to cry, to shout, to scream. Because what she is doing in those moments is constantly transmuting energy. The divine feminine role is to transmute energy constantly. We're transmuting all of the time, whether we're transmuting it through rest or through singing, dancing, playing, emotions, tears, all of that stuff. But we can only do that when we feel safe. So the safety comes from the masculine energy. The divine masculine energy is absolute safety. He is absolute safety and protection, and he holds and he witnesses, and he craves to see her transmute. He craves to see her sing and dance and cry, because that gives him purpose. The thing that feeds the divine masculine energy is purpose. He needs to feel needed and wanted. So by her doing her thing, by her moving the energy, he feels fulfilled in his role, which is to hold and provide and be strong and provide safety. So it's a beautiful balance, a beautiful model for existence. So of course we all hold those energies within, and when you start to pick it apart, it's really nice to witness within yourself which part is that me is playing, is that which part in me is creating that role. And
so do you mind?
No, go for it.
So as you were saying that, I was like, okay, so these two elements live inside of us and support each other in this like flow of life. And I was like, okay, so let's take those two elements inside me and put them in a room full of people, and we're talking ceremony based, you know. When I think of the social programming I've experienced as a woman, which is that I need to look to a man, a physical being of a man, for safety, for protection, for witness, for what's the word? Validation.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And everything like that. So the social conditioning means I kind of give all that power up to another being, to a man, and therefore I'm only left with my feminine, which is only half the breath. And I can claim back a lot of that in my day-to-day. I can do everything I can, but it's still going to play out even the tiniest little bit in a ceremony, because that's the world we live in. And so I find it really, really interesting to, like, what you said reaffirms what we said about when you put all women together and each one's masculine rises up within them. And so each one of us becomes this freestanding support of witnessing, protection, support, and expression and transmission. And it's so cool.
I have an added element to add to that.
Please.
So if you are wondering, so what is the masculine role in ceremony then? So we've established like the feminine and how being in ceremony together is so empowering. You know, we can go to those depths with each other, blah, 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 the stuff we've already talked about. So then the question might be like, okay, so why would we have a mixed ceremony? Why would we be in ceremony with men? So that creates a whole new dynamic. So from my experience being in ceremony with my beloved, because he is an embodiment of the divine masculine, to be honest, he doesn't carry much in the way of like programmed masculinity. He's beautifully in his masculine energy. So what that does is, again, shifting the lens slightly, it allows me, and this has to be a very specific relationship. You have to have the right person to be able to trust this dynamic. I am able to surrender my masculine completely to him. He surrenders his feminine completely to me, and we contract to embody, for me, fully the feminine and him fully the masculine. So these are roles that we both choose to embody when we engage in either ceremony, in music, or in lovemaking. And this actually allows for deeper expansion and healing for me in my feminine and for him in his masculine, because it creates a whole new dynamic that wouldn't be there when I'm just with my sisters. So it's this kind of slight perspective shift. It's still as deep and as powerful, but from a different lens. So yeah, that's the other side of the coin. But it is definitely, it's something that I feel I'm very lucky to experience this unique relationship with him. It wouldn't, I don't believe that it would necessarily be the same for like random men or women that are just meeting for the first time in ceremony, because that's where I believe those constructs may play out that we're speaking about. Yeah, massively. But when we're really like, I feel it's really important to like speak about that, for me to balance that out and like share my
how
experience.
It can be in a
divine
very self-aware divine relationship.
And that's absolutely a blueprint that we've been shown like with medicine throughout the years. It's like you two have the ability to do this because you have each other to mirror that and take on these roles. So,
and I want to be very, very clear, I value mixed spaces. I do not hate on any person born as a man at all. I actually really enjoy being in your company and being in ceremony with you. It just shines a light on a different part of me. That's all.
Absolutely.
It's not in any way, shape or form bad. It's just a very different experience.
It is, yeah.
And I've had some really, really beautiful time with men in ceremonies. So yeah, it's very different, and that's cool. I like that it's different.
Yeah.
But I suppose what I'm trying to say is, like, for ourselves as two women holding space, we have the tools to hold women.
Yes, exactly. Like, well, that's all we know, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how to hold a man. I've never done it before.
Well, what you do is... No, I'm not going to go there. You put your arms out and you hug them.
Yeah, that works quite well.
Yeah, there we go. That's how we hold a man.
Who knows? We might be running men's ceremonies one day, but I know at the moment that is definitely not calling me. Like, no.
Yeah, I would feel so much more comfortable having a male space holder with us if we had mixed ceremonies.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like that makes so much more sense to me.
Definitely
create that balance. Yeah.
There was something else that popped up for me, and I can't remember what it is now.
I was gonna say, was it your penis? And then I was like, don't say it. Oh,
and you did it anyway.
I said it.
Welcome to Grace's intrusive thoughts.
Yeah,
Please take a seat.
I like to just make them not intrusive by just saying them, and then they're not festering.
What you were saying about your relationship in ceremony made me think about my experience being in ceremony with my beloved partner Nikki, and how new and different that is for me. And it's very interesting. We're very at the beginning of our journey together in this way, and so I haven't got the same depth of insight as you have with Connor, but it would be very interesting to see how it plays out over time, because we are both women, and see how that kind of evolves, and what kind of things we shine on each other because of that.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. So far, it's been absolutely wonderful, but that could just be that I'm really enjoying having an absolutely beloved soulmate in ceremony that I can actually have a cuddle with, and like all that nice stuff.
You got best of both worlds, like women's ceremonies and your partners.
Yeah, I know, I'm so lucky.
I never thought of it like that.
It's making me think of you blessing us with the...
I was just thinking, I was like, should I bring that up?
Yeah, go on.
Give you a lesbian blessing. Yeah, before this ceremony, I was like, I need to take the flute to this ceremony. I don't know why, I just need to bring it. And then ended up just giving you this like whole lesbian blessing with this flute, which was, it probably sounds really like pretty, and it wasn't. It was like, it was manic and beautiful and amazing, and I remember being like, this is the ultimate sisterhood connection. You are lovers and your sisters. You are lovers and your sisters. It was just so amazing.
It was epic.
Was beautiful.
I loved that. Thank you so much for channeling through that. That made me very happy.
Nearly but the vessel. Just like the fuhara, which is the flute.
Yes. Oh, I spoke to Martina about the fuhara. I showed her the video, and she was like, that's not a fuhara. And I was like, oh no, it like, so it is, but it's not. And she was like, oh yeah, it's a bit different, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
I said like, it's the, like, because me and Nikki have been looking for one, and we can't find anything like that one, but it's obviously made on the same concept,
right? But
it's just not got the holes in it and doesn't have the little breathing tube.
How does it make a sound then?
Very similar, very, very similar sound.
Oh. Okay.
Like the ones that we found, the Slovakian fuhara, are with they've got a little tube. They can only really be played upright, and they have these holes.
That's the other one he's got. So this is a smaller version of that.
Yeah, it is, like, but it's just Martina was like, I don't know what that is. I don't recognise that as a fuhara.
Okay.
Yeah. And I found it really interesting. She was like, "Oh, it's a men's instrument. Women don't play them."
Whoa!
Yeah.
Well, that's fucking interesting
Yeah.
because that's the one instrument that was blessing the feminine, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we used it as a phallus.
Yeah.
Because we were like, yeah. Let's say we were directing it near our yonis. Yeah, that's really interesting, isn't it? I feel like we broke through
Maybe.
something.
I did inform her I have some videos of ladies playing them very beautifully, but she said traditionally it would only be men playing them.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck that right out the window.
We're going to take your instrument, Slovakia, and we're going to use it however the fuck we want.
And we did. Look at that. 39, 40.
Hey!
40 minutes.
Perfect timing again. Is it time to wrap this up?
Let's wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much for joining. Please send us messages, give us feedback, tell us how much you love us, tell us how much you want to be at our events and our spaces that we hold. And
soon we shall create a hub where we can all connect.
Oh, yes.
But by the time this is out, it might already be done. Okay. All right. Thank you. Bye.